This book got me. Bruh. She literally says, she's talking about her family, and she's talking about how her parents constructed a village for their nuclear family, and it looked good from the outside, but every family has its secret, and my family's was me. And that's the moment I knew I'm in for this ride. It's gonna be so good. Y'all, we're finally getting weather where it feels like I can sit outside. Like, low-key, I feel like I could take this coat off if I really wanted to, but I won't, because I'm not trying to spend my week sick. Plus, I'm going to Baltimore in literally, I just have tomorrow left, and then Wednesday morning I leave, so I'm not trying to be sick while I'm away. Anyways, I've been reading A Certain Hunger, and it's like I can't understand why I'm enjoying this. And maybe it's because I love stories with unhinged women. I don't know. So, like, first and foremost, the vocabulary in this book is so sophisticated, I guess is the best word for it. There are many words that I'm like, thank the Lord that I'm reading this on my Kindle, because I could just click it and be like, what's that? Granted, I do feel that if I wasn't reading it on my Kindle, I could use context clues and you get the general gist of the vocabulary. But overall, I'm learning a lot of new words from this book. That being said, I think I'm still waiting for the pieces to come together. There are definitely, so it took me 6 chapters to figure out that the titles of each of these chapters is like a food or drink, which makes sense because our main character is a food critic. So it would make sense that her story would revolve around that. I'm really enjoying the fact that it's kind of like written in her perspective. I don't want to give away like too much about her current situation, because I don't know if that's a spoiler, but I was not expecting that perspective, and I wasn't expecting it to be, granted, like from her point of view, yes, but she kind of breaks the fourth wall in a way, and I think that was the part that I wasn't expecting. Either way, there are a lot of details that she gives us. For example, she has some flashbacks into her childhood, and also some flashbacks into certain events, like pretty big, meaningful events in her life, that I'm still waiting to see how they connect and relate to the rest of the story and how we got from there to where we are now. I feel like maybe she's hinting at the point of like, these are her histories and traumas that have made her kind of like break or be the way that she is. But she does hint on certain occasions that she was her family's like secret in a way. So I haven't gotten to any parts where she's kind of giving away what that is yet. So I don't know if something went over my head, but I don't think so. I think we're kind of building up to those reveals. And maybe that's why I'm interested, because I'm like, what in the French toast is going on here? Nothing makes any sense. I will say that because I've been reading this with Steph, it is kind of motivating me to get through it really quickly, because she keeps having reactions and I'm like, I want to know what it is right now. So that being said, I'm going to stop this update here and get to it. Greetings from Baltimore. I am on a work trip, And on my way here, was actually on the train reading the rest of A Certain Hunger, and I finished. I'm very excited because I really enjoyed this book. There were certainly some parts that I felt like I was kind of glazing over because the main character, Dorothy, which also, I don't know why, but the name Dorothy is just not sticking for this character in my brain, but that's okay because her name isn't mentioned that much. Anyways, what was I saying about her? Oh, that there were certain parts of the book that I was kind of like glazing over because Dorothy would hyper fixate on like food, which I guess makes sense because she is a food critic by trade. But then she would tie the food into certain experiences, or she would hyper fixate on like physical interactions with men. The one thing that I kind of felt like didn't really make sense to me and why this isn't like a 5-star book, because I had 5-star feelings most of the time. The first thing is those like long monologues that she would go on, although like they kind of built into the character, lost me sometimes. The second thing is the fact that there were some questions that I felt like we didn't really get an answer to. Like for example, many of these unalivings, right? We can't say the M word on the internet. Many of the unalivings that she committed, there was no motive. There was maybe 2 that I could tell you the exact reasoning. The last one being the one where I was like, okay, this makes total sense. The other ones, it's almost like, why did you do that? What was the reason? And yeah, the way that she, I can't even say it's a spoiler, but like, the reveals at the end and the way that the events unfold really made me mad in like the best way, because I was engaged, but it really made me mad. But yeah, the last thing that kind of took away like the 5-star vibe for me is the ending of the book. There was something that happened that I felt like, okay, thank you for giving me the answer to that question. We definitely needed it, but it just felt like you added that part of the story into the book just solely so that we could have that answer and like we could move on. Which, yes, I did want an answer, but I didn't want like the quick and easy solution, you know what I mean? Other than that though, like I was eating this up. I think that the setting in which she is telling this story and how she kind of breaks the fourth wall a little bit, not necessarily, but I don't know a better way to describe it without giving that away, because like it was a fun discovery for me, but I thought it was interesting how she like directly addresses the readers at some points. I thought this book was really, really funny. I highlighted so many things. They're on my Goodreads if you want to see them because they were hilarious. And finally, I thought it was such a good, like, I don't even want to say women empowerment because we never want to empower women to unalive people, but this main character was just like refreshing, you know? So I'm really excited. I give it 4.5 stars. My twin also gave it 4.5 stars. I am happy to finally be back on like a good reading trend, because what the French toast was that? Knows you like I do, can't even deny. All right, I don't even know the words to that song, but this is actually a work trip, so my job paid for this trip, lodging, conference, and everything so that I could learn a little bit about special education, which is what I do. That's my bread and butter when I'm not here on YouTube or reading books. So I'm really excited and happy. Moving on, I am in the middle of a finishing books I'm in the middle of vlog. No, series I'm in the middle of vlog, and in that one I'm finishing the Harry Potter series. So I do have those books with me, but obviously I want to have a dedicated book for this specific trip. That way I can talk about it throughout this vlog. Otherwise that would be boring if I can't tell you what these books are about. So that book that I brought to read while I'm here is Daisy Hates by Jessa Hastings. You can't really see the title with this cover, huh? But yeah, anyways, Daisy Hates is the second book in the Magnolia Park series, and I believe this is like a, I don't want to say like a spin-off. This is the second book in the series, but there's two like different timelines, not timelines, I don't know, but there's like two different like storylines. The first one follows Magnolia Parks and BJ Ballantyne. They are rich socialites in London. And then the second one kind of follows Christian and Daisy Hates, if I'm not mistaken. This one just says, no guns at the dinner table. All 20-year-old Daisy Hates has ever wanted is a normal life. But as the sister of London's most notorious gang lord, she knows better than most that in this life, everything comes at a price. So I'm excited. The books alternate. It's like a Magnolia Parks, a Daisy Hates, a Magnolia Parks, a Daisy Hates. So I really, really, really enjoyed Magnolia Parks's storyline. I think I gave that book 5 stars. I don't think I did. And I'm hoping that I will give this one that too, but we'll see. Let's get into it. Okay, so I'm one chapter in. Initial thoughts. I did see that in the very front of the book there is a longer description, and basically it talks about how Daisy Hates is raised by her older brother Julian Hates because their parents were unalived, and he's a gang lord, so her life is complicated, but then she falls for Christian Hems, who is the only person who doesn't answer to Julian, and his life is not a walk in the park either. He's in love with his best friend's girlfriend. However, they things get complicated when he's essentially using Daisy to throw his scent off of the other girl that he has a crush on, but he starts to catch feelings basically. So things get complicated. It's giving there's going to be some kind of like love triangle. I don't know. But it says that their romance blossoms into something neither were anticipating. Daisy, Christian, and Julian must come to terms with the fact that in this life, everything comes at a price, and sometimes life's most worthwhile pursuits can only be paid in blood. So it's giving there's going to be some violence in here. I read the first chapter and there are a lot of characters. Like I feel like I vaguely remember this being a thing in Magnolia Parks, but not in a way where I couldn't eventually catch up. So hopefully, even though I'm confused right now, hopefully that'll get better. I think right now it's just like we have at least 10 characters, and we're also figuring out like the nicknames that they use for them. So there's like this guy named TK and they call him Teeks. There's a guy named John, they call him Smoke, which is also short for Smoke Show. So confusion. The other thing that I noticed is that every page has these like footnotes at the bottom, and I kind of hate that. So we're not off to a good start. We're not at all. Also, I noticed that Jessa Hastings, she did this in Magnolia Parks too. Like all the characters have pre-existing relationships. So it's not that we are getting Christian, is that his name? I'm already confused. Christian and Daisy's relationship isn't like, it's already established. They're friends with benefits right now. And they're already starting to have like feelings right from the get. So I'm just wondering, like, what's the reason for that? We're not really getting like a romance in that sense where, like, they, you know, develop it. So, I don't know. I don't want to say I'm disappointed yet because it's just one chapter, but we'll see. So I know that before dinner I started Daisy Hates by Jessa Hastings. However, I went to dinner. I went to Phillips, by the way. It's a seafood restaurant. It's like right by the water. It was really good. They will seat you right away if you ask for a high top. So if you want to go and you don't want to wait for the massive lines, feel free to ask for a high top, because that's what we did and we got seated like immediately. Anyways, besides the point of dinner, I have a book at home called First Time Caller by B.K. Borison. That's the author of Love Like Farms in that series, which is really popular. But she just recently came out with a book called First Time Caller, and I have it at home. I didn't bring it with me. However, the audiobook just became available on Libby. And I was gonna wait until I got home, but then I realized that that book is set in Baltimore. And I'm in Baltimore. So it only feels right that we read the book while we're here. No? I think yes. I think I will just probably make it my goal to listen to that audiobook and also finish Daisy Hates while I'm here. I can do it. It's 4 days, 2 books. Like, I've done more. I don't have like a full description of the book though. That's like the only real thing. From like perusing the first few pages, what I can gather is that there's a guy named Aiden who has kind of like lost his faith in love and relationships because he's been running this radio show, and a lot of people have been calling and they just kind of like complain and talk about their like relationship problems, and so he's kind of like down on his luck and doesn't have much faith in relationships right now. But then this caller calls. Actually, her daughter, Lucy's daughter, calls on her behalf saying, you know, like, my mom needs relationship advice. She needs to get out there into the dating world. And their, I don't want to say podcast, but like the show where she comes on goes viral, and then they partner up to do this love show, and a romance ensues between the two of them. So I'm trying not to do that thing where I describe every romance book by saying, and then they fall in love. It's really hard, y'all, because that's what they do. They fall in love. I feel like there has to be a better description that I can put like here or something, but I feel that because this book is set in Baltimore, we should read it. For the lands of the free and the home of the brave. Y'all, what is even going on? It feels like we have a good thing going here where I unwind for the evening and chat to y'all about books in Baltimore. So I haven't made any progress in Daisy Hates. I have, however, made some progress with, what's it called? The book about First Time Caller. yeah. I decided to focus on that book particularly because it takes place in Baltimore, and I thought it would be fun to read a book about Baltimore while in Baltimore. But I will say that I've been paying very specific attention to if I could find any like specific like details about like Baltimore specific setting details that I could like match up to like being here in Baltimore. And honestly, the setting doesn't play a big role in the book at all, other than they keep saying like Baltimore, Baltimore, Baltimore because of like the radio station. So that's a little disappointing, but it's fine. I don't know, like this book is not, it's not bad, but there's nothing like wowing me about it either, or anything that's like really standing out. I will say that I really love like the relationship between the main character and her baby daddy. So basically they had Maya when she was young. They were both very young. I think the main character was like 16 or something when she got pregnant with Maya. And her baby daddy, who she had Maya with, he's now married. And him and his partner live right next door. And they have like best friendship, and they understand that like while they made a baby together and that was like something that they did in their past, it's not like where their future lies. They know that they're not like right for each other in a romantic way, but they still love each other. They still like support each other. It's honestly like the dream baby daddy situation, I have to say. And I love it. I love how protective he is of her, even though he's like married, and him and Mateo have like the dream love story, and then Mateo also like embraces her. It's a cute little relationship. I will say in terms of like the romance in this book, I'm a little underwhelmed. It kind of feels like they spent a lot of time together doing the radio show, and there's not necessarily like any like thing specific that happens, but like just from like spending time together. I already forgot the main character's name, but like he just develops a crush on Lucy. That, I don't know, it doesn't like, we never got that like moment where like he realizes it, you know. He's just like all of a sudden just like has a crush on her, and she doesn't necessarily like, she doesn't show any signs of like reciprocating it, other than like, okay, this guy's kind of hot. Besides that, like, there's nothing until there is something all of a sudden. I don't know how to explain it. It's just kind of unsatisfying to me, to be honest. I like a good, like, development. Am I a slow burn girl? Like, I don't know. So we'll see. I guarantee you that the third act breakup, if there is one, will make or break my rating of this book. Right now, I feel like I'm at like a solid 3 stars. Like this is fine. This is fine. The first 3 chapters of this book were like so good. And after that, I'm like, okay, this is fine. Like we will see what happens. So I guess we're seeing what happens. Good morning to you. Here's our last Baltimore bathroom book talk. That's actually kind of hilarious. Baltimore bathroom book talks. Yeah, I'm getting ready for the day. I have like 2 conference sessions to go to this morning, and then I'm headed back home. I'm kind of disappointed in like the lack of reading that I have done on this trip. I only got about like 5 chapters into Daisy Hates. I don't remember if Magnolia Parks was written this way. It probably was. But she writes in like these like half sentences. I don't know how to explain it. I'll try to find like an example and like put it down here. But it's just like, what is going on? I tried to like get myself into it. I even downloaded an ebook and put it on my phone and was reading at the restaurant last night. But even then, I still like was just like struggling to really get into it. I also feel like the characters are just like there's three POVs. There's Daisy, there's her brother Julian, and then there's Christian, who's the love interest, and they're all three kind of repeating the same like backstory right now. So it's a little bit annoying. Like, I'm like, okay, I get it. Okay, everyone loves Daisy. Julian's a gang lord, and Christian is obsessed with Magnolia Parks. Like, can we move on to something else, please? So that's kind of where I am right now with the Daisy Hates book, like not that far at all. I'm gonna try to read it. I have like a 3.5-ish hour train ride, so I'm gonna try to read as much as possible on the train. And then before I even get on the train, I'm gonna do my best to finish First Time Caller, which I'm actually about 75% through. This is so sad. My favorite lip gloss has run out. I guess I'll have to buy some more. Anyways, First Time Caller. I don't know. I'm not like hating the experience, but I'm not having like a great time either. I feel like with romances, my issue is always that little like, what is the difference between them liking each other and them like lusting over each other? I feel like this one started pretty well, where he like, it didn't start as a physical attraction. However, like we're at a point in the book where that's like what he's thinking about. Like that's all he's thinking about. I guess that's pretty reasonable, but you know, I'm not really into like spice in books. That like doesn't interest me, so kind of hard for me to justify like enjoying this part of the book. You know what I mean? And I also feel like we are doing a lot of telling me that they're flirting, as opposed to like, it doesn't feel like they're flirting. It feels like they're just having like a genuine conversation, which is fine. You know, you can build a connection through having a regular conversation, but I don't know. I'm starting to lose faith in, not faith, I'm starting to lose faith in these romance books. Maybe I only like Emily Henry and Ellie Hazelwood romances. Anyways, I'm hoping to finish both of these books like within the next day, because I am trying so hard. If you watch my February reading wrap up, and I talk about my March reading goals, I'm in the middle of a challenge to finish reading all of my physical TBR by the end of the month. And if I don't, then my friend gets to keep the $100 that I gave her at the beginning of the month. So I need to get these books finished. I mean, First Time Caller was not even on that original list, because I got the book after I started the challenge. So it's not even going to contribute. It is on my physical TBR, but I'm just like not counting any book subscriptions that I received after I started the challenge, just because it would be unreasonable. I'm already struggling because I have the rest of the Harry Potter series, and those were like 800-page books. I have faith in myself. Let's do it, y'all. A guy every day that sits in the lobby dressed like Team Rocket. You can see him right here playing like the flute. It's so cute. I went to Baltimore, and at Baltimore I was reading Daisy Hates, and I'm pretty close to the end of this book. I think I'm like, let's see, 294 pages into a 400-page book. So last 100 pages. Last I left off, this book was getting really good. So I'm excited. However, my trip to Baltimore was over, and I got home, and The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes came out. So I had to stop, read that book, which was a different vlog. That's just one example of why your girl's out of control and unorganized and losing it. But let's finish these last 100, and I'll let you guys know what's next. Okay, I'm going to the gym. I will see y'all when I get back. I have been reading Magnolia Parks. I think I have about 70 pages left in this book now, which means I didn't get a lot of reading done today, but that's okay. It's fine. I'm realizing that, I don't know, like, I was like, oh, the plot's getting really interesting, the drama, the tea, the toxicity, but I go back and forth between like, oh my gosh, I'm on the edge of my seat, and all right, like, this is getting old. Like, you all have the same coping mechanism, which is to go do the nasty with someone else on purpose to hurt the person that you actually care about. And you also are all in love with each other in this sick, twisted love. I can't even call it a triangle because there's like 70 of y'all involved in this love situation. So it is quite a little bit annoying. And every time you think that there's a person that's not involved in the love triangle shape thingy, they somehow are. Like, what's the reason? My boy Jack is literally the only character in this whole entire book that's not messy. It's very annoying. The other thing is, this book is titled Daisy Hates, and it's so funny and so poetic and literally hilarious that, like, the whole point of this book is that Christian Hems is in love with someone else, but this whole book is supposed to be about Daisy Hates, right? And like her and his love story and how he starts to fall for her when he's dating her to get over someone else, right? Like, that's literally the summary of this book. And it's funny because this is the second book. It takes place in Magnolia Parks series, right? And the whole point of Magnolia Parks book 1 is that the whole world revolves around Magnolia Parks. And how, like, literary is it? How ironic is it that this book is supposed to be about Daisy Hates? It's titled Daisy Hates, and Daisy Hates' literal problem is like everything revolves around Magnolia Parks. And the funny thing is, like, we're getting to a point in the book where the book also revolves around Magnolia Parks. And it's like, sis, why is everything about you? It's not about you, it's about Daisy. And that's literally how Daisy feels. Woo-hoo-hoo. I don't think I'm explaining that well, but like in my brain, it's like a beautiful like marrying that the author made this whole book literally about Magnolia, and that's like the point of like what Daisy is feeling. Also, these stupid decisions that these characters are making are really starting to upset me. Like, they should just end up with the people that I feel that they should end up with, right? Like, I don't think that's unreasonable. They should do what I say. I don't have much to say. I just needed to get it out that, like, I can't stand Daisy. Why are these people so annoying? Like, why does no one have any simple communication skills? So many things could have been avoided. I mean, would it be as interesting? No, but also this is annoying. Like, we can't keep doing this. Also, I'm pretty sure I read a spoiler on the internet and I know how this is gonna end. Like, not recently, but like I'm just remembering. Hey, editing me here. I realized that I never really wrapped this video. So to sum up, I read 2 books. The first one was First Time Caller by B.K. Borison. I ended up giving that about 3.25 stars. I did enjoy it. I thought it was like a cutesy, fun, quick read. However, there wasn't anything really that like stood out to me, so I couldn't justify like rating it any more than that. In terms of Daisy Hates, though, I did end up in the end feeling like I actually enjoyed it a lot more than I thought I was enjoying it. Just because I had like such strong feelings, and you know when you're just like invested in the characters, you know what I mean? So I gave that one 4.25 stars. So that's my thoughts. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, hit that like button. If you made it this far, leave me a daisy or any kind of flower that you feel like in the comments. And if you want to join the family, hit that subscribe button. I will see you all when I see you next. Bye. Welcome back to my channel. I'm Jill Sandy, and I like to do this little series, I guess you can call it, on my channel where I go on vacation and read books while I'm there. So I am really excited to be in Baltimore this week.